President Trump may be out of the hospital, but when can we expect him actually back on the trail? The president did offer some details on that front today, tweeting just hours ago, "We'll be back on the campaign trail soon. The fake news only shows the fake polls." Joining me now is Steve Cortes, Trump 2020 campaign senior strategist. Steve, how soon is soon? I mean, he's not going to be able to go out on the trail until he tests negative, I imagine, 3 times in a row. I believe that's the protocol. And they say it's 10 days or 14 days from the diagnosis, right?
Right. I believe that's right, Laura. But if you were to ask the president when's he going to get out, he would say yesterday, because that's the kind of fighter that he is. Look, we're going to have to defer to the medical authorities on this, of course. But this, I can promise you, it's baseball playoff time, if I can use a baseball metaphor. He is our ace pitcher. Right now, he's on the DL, and I can guarantee you that when he's back in the game, which will be soon, he's going to be throwing high inside heat at the liberals. That will happen, and it will happen soon.
Chris Cuomo, I wanted to do this with Raymond, Steve, but we didn't have time. Chris Cuomo started off his show tonight, and like so many on the other cables, he seemed very unhappy. Watch.
I hold rallies, and I tell you to ignore masks, and I rip mine off as I vanquish the virus because I am a leader. Fear not, COVID. What a bunch of...
Apparently he should be maybe auditioning for summer stock next year because he's really talented at those voices.
Well, by the way,
what of that?
That's very rich coming from Chris Cuomo, somebody who literally faked for the world his supposed emergence from his basement quarantine when we know now factually that he had already, of course, broken quarantine. You know, but more importantly here, what did these people, these critics like Cuomo, want the president to do? Did they want him to be hermetically sealed in the White House residence? That's not what a leader does. He knew that he was taking risks, not reckless risks, but that he was taking risks. All precautions were taken, and unfortunately, he got the virus. It's not his fault, nor is it the fault of millions of Americans who got this virus. The only people who are culpable, who are to blame for this horrible virus, are the Chinese Communist Party. And to connect that to the election, this president has been the first American official ever to truly stand up against Beijing. Steve, and the alternative, Joe Biden, is somebody who has acquiesced to the Chinese Communist Party for decades.
They're desperate to get him elected to China. There's no doubt about it. Steve, the scuttlebutt now in the media, though, is that Donald Trump is basically a walking disease vector, and that the sources tell the media that the White House staff is infuriated and enraged and confused, and people are running around and they're afraid they're going to get it, and they're, quote, dropping like flies. You know what's happening in the White House. Is there a feeling of utter panic and freak out there?
Absolutely not. And I can certainly speak for the campaign side. There were literally people cheering today as we watched on television the helicopter land, you know, because, again, we know that our champion is coming back. In the meantime, it's incumbent upon us to fill the void. We have to flood the zone with content, with the message of President Trump. Nobody can replace him. He's, if I can please my high school Latin teacher nuns, he's sui generis. He's one of a kind. We can't replace him, but we can go out and spread his message to this country until he is able to, again, do it himself. And that will be soon. And I think what him getting infected, by the way, will clarify for the American people is that there's a fulcrum choice coming up in this election. On the one hand, you can elect Donald Trump, somebody who, even though he himself was infected, has told us today, be not afraid. Don't let the virus dominate your life. Be not afraid of each other. And we are going to continue our path toward normalcy, and he is rebuilding prosperity in this country.
Versus Steve? Yeah, we get that, and you're 100% right. But why? NBC Wall Street Journal has him down 14 points nationally. Other polls show him like within 2 points in Ohio. That can't make any sense. We got 30 seconds, just 10 seconds response to that.
Listen, that's a junk poll. It's clearly they oversampled Democrats there. There are plenty of national polls and, more importantly, battleground polls that show this race extremely tight. I believe that is the reality. All of the battleground states are in play from here forward.
Steve, great to see you tonight. Thanks so much.